What's up, founders? Nabs here. September is here, which means 5 months in lockdown. Absolutely crazy. And it's had me thinking about the future of work quite a lot. I don't see things going back to the way they were before, to be honest. So I want to explain my reasoning behind that a little bit. First, my company story. At the beginning of the pandemic, we decided pretty fast to be on the safe side and start working from home. We just had this feeling that the situation was getting hot. So we told our dev team, feel safe. If that means not coming into the office, no biggie, and that was that. There wasn't really much fanfare, it just happened, and our productivity kept going up, and we weren't really affected by COVID-19 at all, to be honest. Personally, it was the best I'd felt in a long time. So as for the explanation why we were so prepared, basically I'm totally obsessed with remote working. Ever since 2015, when I first moved to China, I was contracting and almost all my clients were based in Europe. So I was on the other side of the world. I was actually in a different time zone, working almost completely asynchronously with just one touch point each day, which was my evening, their morning, and it was amazing for me because I was so productive and focused to the point that sometimes I only even worked in the afternoon and still exceeded expectations. Had a lot of time for myself. I would wake up, swim, bike ride, read books, head to my cafe and just lock in for like 4 or 5 hours and smash out work. And it was so incredible knowing that I was working while everyone was asleep. I still miss that feeling today. When I came back here to join the salon, it was really hard for me to transition back, to be honest, because I was giving up all of my freedoms one by one for this greater good. And I had a lot less time for myself. I was matching up my habits to everyone else in the company. I went from asynchronous to synchronous, but I still miss those days. That's why I think I've always pushed remote culture really hard at the salon. And we've always encouraged work from home 1 or 2 days a week. Everything is digital, Slack, Google Drive, everything's almost completely automated in the business as well. So that helps smooth things out. And I also kept visiting China every year and staying for like a couple of months, remote working while I was out there. My team's all done stints remote. One went to Portugal, one went to South Africa for a month to remote work. It kind of became like a rite of passage that everybody went through. And whenever I was building something or figuring out some company process, I would always be asking myself, what if someone's remote? And this stuff was scary and jarring to our company culture, but we pushed through it. I'm very grateful to my co-founders for embracing that. And when the pandemic hit, it all came together and it just allowed the whole company to go remote. So I don't know what we're going to do on the long term yet, but I think we are going to stay remote for a bit longer without an office. And hopefully we can experiment with hiring in other locations and asynchronous working. And by the way, I don't think this is a unique story. I think there are businesses all over the world in every industry that are realizing that they can work without an office, and the clever ones are going to use it to their advantage. And there are going to be challenges like how do we keep our culture strong, train junior staff, make sure employees can work easily. But I think the question you should ask yourself when looking at the cons is how do they balance with the pros? Is having like an international talent pool going to be easier for you to hire? Or are you going to save money flying your team out to monthly retreats? And is it going to be cheaper than dropping 10K a month on that swanky office? And all those savings that you make, how can you reinvest those into your business? How can you grow faster, or how can you cut costs so your competitors just can't keep up with you? And you might even be able to connect with your customers better, which I think is happening to us, by the way, because I realized that all of our beauty therapists are kind of remote working, traveling around London all day. They don't really have a base, and that's shifted our perspective on how to support them completely. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. As I said at the beginning, I don't think remote working is going anywhere. I think there's a lot of smart people out there who are already thinking about how to use it to their advantage. So it's really important you make sure you're one of them. And as you can see, I'm very passionate about this subject. So if you ever want to reach out and just get advice, I'm really happy to chat through stuff. I can share more stories about the things that worked and didn't work for us. And then I can also recommend useful tools that might help you in your journey towards remote work. And I just want this to be a viable option for every business in the world. Even if you don't end up using it, I think it's just so incredible that we all have this opportunity. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone has an amazing day and looking forward to chatting with you about the future of remote work.